Good afternoon, Paul Hawksby, Charlie Baker here on talkSPORT. Joining us in the studio, a man you've almost certainly seen
You will
if you've gone to a comedy
him,
club. I was just saying to him, I must have seen him at a comedy club about 35 years ago. Because and that does work out years-wise, because 40 years in the saddle. He's been working the comedy clubs of this country. It is Steve Gribbin. Good afternoon, Steve.
Hello, thanks guys.
Welcome,
thanks for having
Steve.
us.
What was your life before comedy? I mean, Steve, probably you were straight from the cradle into comedy.
To be fair, I had some horrible jobs. I worked at. I was a door-to-door suit salesman.
Wow,
I was
that's a
attacked
hard
by
thing
an
to
XL
say.
bully dog.
I'm at home during the day. I don't need
It's
one.
a numbers game, isn't it? Really.
I worked at Peak Freen's Biscuit Factory, which used to be in Rotherhithe, didn't it?
Did you manage to smuggle some out in the evening?
I certainly did. I'll tell you what, I will never ever eat a Christmas pudding again. I can't tell you what goes into them, but my advice is don't eat them.
What were you making them? Were you
I was on the Christmas pudding department. That was considered one of the best jobs in the factory because
Was that? I mean, I'll take that was seasonal work. Or I suppose they've got a lot of preservatives in. You could be doing that in January.
it was all year round.
Really?
Yeah.
And so, what was your first gig, and what did you do? Had you always written funny songs? Had you
Yeah,
always done
the
that?
first. Do you know what? The first ever time I was on stage was in Butlins in Lytham St Albans.
Oh, nice.
And it was like
the old home of the Football League back in the day. Yeah.
And I did some terrible jokes, which I can't even. I do remember. I mean, bear in mind I was only about 12.
Yeah.
But I did where does Caesar keep his armies up his sleeves?
Oh, yeah.
I can't believe it.
Yeah, I'll tell you what.
Charlie's still doing that
It's not
one.
got much better.
Yeah.
I was beaten into third place
Oh.
by a man who played the spoons.
Oh wow.
And a woman singing The 12th of Never.
Oh,
there we
Never
are.
forgotten.
Everybody
Never
needs.
forgotten.
Everybody needs. And what's happened to those two? Have they been 40 years in the business?
They're still in the business, yeah.
Yeah, that man was Uri Geller, the guy with the spoons.
And Shirley Bassey.
One night he was on stage.
Singing
Yeah.
Yeah. My first ever proper gig was at Woolwich Tramshed in,
Oh, yeah.
in May 1982, and the day after the Falklands War had broken out. That shows you how long ago.
that
So
was-
you've
that was known as
moved
a-
down here from Liverpool, Steve.
Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
wasn't living properly. I mean, I moved down properly in about 84, so I've been here about 40 years. So
Well, you haven't lost the accent.
well, I've still got a
Yeah.
bit.
And that was sort of the origination of sort of comedy as we know it now.
Yeah,
what was then called alternative
Yeah,
comedy.
but we were sort of like the third wave. We came after people like Alexi Sale. He's probably one of my comedy heroes. He's the reason I got started, really.
Yeah.
But I've got that kind of crazy thing of, if you see pictures of people when they're watching punk bands, they're not all dressed as punks, are they? So that some of them have got CNA or M&S jumpers on.
Yeah.
And I'm the same. I like people from the so-called old circuit. Like my heroes are Alexi Sale, Les Dawson, and
Yeah.
Victoria Wood. They're my sort of like holy trinity of
Yeah.
that I love. They're the people that made me want to get started.
Yeah, I
basically.
mean,
So you're having a special night for 40 years in the business.
I am, yeah. It's a Hot Water Comedy Club in Liverpool, and it's got a fantastic bill.
Yeah, it looks great. Gary Delaney, Tez Ilyas, Justin Moorhouse, Mick, Ferry, Phil Chapman, Nina Gilligan, Daliso, Chaponda, you, Steve Gribbin, and Katie Tracey. Tickets are £10, and it is that Hot Water.
Yeah.
Is such
It's a phenomenon,
This
isn't
was
it?
a Liverpool phenomenon. If
It
people
is,
haven't
yeah.
heard of it, but it's sort of gone international through Paul Smith, who
Yeah.
used to
Well, he's
compare
touring
there as well.
Australia, New Zealand, isn't he? In the New Year, which is
He's sold out Wembley twice, and
Brilliant.
Yeah.
it's an absolute phenomenon. So you're
Yeah.
playing there, are you, Steve?
I am. I'm playing there. Actually, I'm playing there the weekend before, so I can plug the gig.
Right.
After every night, I'd be like this. Thank you very much, and please come to this show. And
it's all for a good cause, is where you're
'cause,
raising
my
some money.
dad's, they passed away from lung disease, so it's really close to my heart.
Yeah.
The Asthma Lung UK, great charity.
Okay.
Good stuff.
It's Monday, the 21st of October, so people can get along.
Yeah.
And go and watch the show. You're a Liverpool fan, see?
I am a massive Liverpool fan. Yeah.
How are you feeling about Slot? It must be quite pleased.
Yeah,
So
do
you've
you
gone
know
for the look?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've talked to Charlie about this, but because for early days,
there is a look. If you
slot
take the
about
glasses,
you.
you could do some slot.
Do
Look
it,
at
Steve. Yeah, Steve.
Oh, look at
hang on,
that.
I've got to get the demeanour.
Yeah.
It was a good game, yeah, but we'll have room for improvement. Yeah, we scored 6, but I don't like.
You haven't got an Arna Slot song yet?
I haven't got an Arnie Slot song. No,
Oh.
we're waiting for. He hasn't spectacularly cocked up yet, has he?
No.
And,
No,
I did
what a
have one
start.
for Klopp. I had a Goodbye to Klopp song, which was very, very heartfelt.
Do you want to give us that?
Give us a bit of that.
Can you remember it?
Because a lot of the songs you've told us you're going to play so far will get taken off air.
We will.
He said he was leaving. I can't believe he's going. I tried not to get emotional, but all I can say is, I love you, Jürgen. I love you, Jürgen. I love you, Jürgen. It's basically in that.
Yeah. Wow, you really found the emotion quickly.
Yeah,
there,
just I
Steve.
like that.
Went down really well at Addison.
Yeah.
You're known for writing songs about the news and stuff that's happened that day,
stuff
and
that's
you'll play it that night. Where do you start? Does it just ping in your head, or do you start with a little rhyme scheme, or?
No, I watch the news, I make some notes, and if anything strikes me as funny, then I sit down and think, well, how can I get this? And my thing is I try and make the songs pretty short.
Yeah.
Like 30 seconds, bang, get in, out. And if I haven't, this is actually true, I haven't got the idea properly done within about a minute or 2 minutes, that's it, I'll move on to the next thing.
Really? So it has to come very quickly to you.
If it doesn't, because I'm thinking, if I can't get it, then the audience aren't going to be there.
Yeah,
No.
sure, they have to get
That
to
is
it
impressive.
quickly,
You go to a gig and something's been on the 6 o'clock news, and then someone's singing a song about it at
very
9
good.
o'clock. I think
Great.
that is
But
impressive.
it does, sometimes it works to your disadvantage if they haven't watched the news.
Yeah.
This is absolutely true. Did the Glee Club once in Birmingham? Some woman leant forward to her mate, and only I heard it. She went, "Who's Vladimir Putin?" I just got really depressed. Where'd you start?
Yeah. Go.
He's on next. There's a young lad, come all the way.
Hello, everybody.
Won the Perrier.
KGB, here he is, trying his hand out tonight in the world of comedy. Please welcome Vladimir Putin, ladies and gentlemen.
Be good.
Where are you from? I'm not telling you where I live, mate.
He's got no top on.
Why is he on a horse?
It's a great act.
That would be
love
fantastic.
you.
Tiny little stage in Liverpool, rides on a horse
Yeah,
with a pair of
perfect.
combat trousers, sucking his gut in. Not that he's got a gut, if any of his people are listening, of course.
Vlad, if you're
That's
listening,
all. That's all.
taken off air.
That's all natural.
There we are. So, do you think you're going to win the league, Steve?
no.
No. There we are. We've got there.
I mean, the thing, I'd love to. Obviously, I obviously would, but it's still early days. It's still, I think Man City are going to win. To be honest.
At what point do you feel that Arne Slot will be deserving of a song, Steve? How many more wins? are you
I'll give him.
looking for?
I'll give him like 3 months. If something, if there's a crisis,
Yeah.
I might even do one about the fact that he's the complete contrast to Klopp. Isn't he?
Yeah.
It's the other way.
Klopp was extrovert. Everybody loved him, but Arnie likes to keep his.
He's quite sort of bookish, isn't he? You
Yeah.
can imagine him sort of running a sort of little sort of backstreet bookshop somewhere.
Well, he reminds me a bit
nice,
of the Spurs manager.
Yeah,
That's
and
he's
he makes a
like-
bit more eye contact. But he'd have one of those very small pipes that only Dutch people.
Yeah.
So you think, how much tobacco can you get in that? Like he's carved it himself with a tiny little.
I like him.
Yeah, I could see you in one of those, Charlie.
Yeah,
one of those
little
little pipes, quite long, but with barely the bowl's tiny.
Just a tiny little bowl,
That
like
could
you're
be
in
your-
Oliver Twist.
That could be your affectation. You could go on stage with
Well,
that.
yeah, look, you're allowed to smoke.
see
A
that.
This is the thing.
Yeah.
Steve will have started out when there was no smoking. I started out when there was no smoking ban.
Oh God!
in the clubs.
I mean, it was like that. Oh.
He used to stink, Steve. You come over and you'd stink.
Really?
But you know what? It's good, honest stink.
Yeah.
You knew you'd been in a comedy club. It smelled like that.
Steve, we're out of time. We did get a bit of clopping.
we got a bit of guitar.
Clopping,
So
yeah.
go and see Steve's 40 Years in the Saddle Gala Evening in aid of Asthma Lung UK if you're up in Liverpool, even if you're not getting to Liverpool. It's the Hot Water Comedy Club, Blackstock Market, Blackstock Street, Liverpool.
That's a great bill as well. Yeah.
Doors at 6, show 7:30, and a great bill of Steve's friends, including our old mate Justin Moorhouse, a regular on the station, of course.
And you're all over the socials and stuff like Instagram and all that, Steve. Yeah.
I've had to learn how to do it.
I know. Yeah, haven't we all?
Well,
Haven't we all, Grandad?
Here's to another 40.
What does this button do?
Another 40 years when you'll have to come up with a song
you
for your
very
new manager, Trent Alexander-Arnold. Cheers, Steve. All the best.
Thank you
Lovely to
very
see
much.
you.
Cheers for having us on.
The great Steve Gribbin there. It's Paul Hawksby and Charlie Baker.